Hey everybody, welcome to the Pixel Panda Arcade, and I'm taking a little break from what I normally post in regards to Dispatch because I really wanted to talk about Blonde Blazer. The image that you're seeing is from the art of Dispatch. This is part of the Digital Deluxe Edition, and her little blurb says that she represents the golden age of supers. She's honorably courageous, and she's got a generous spirit and corporate approved dorkiness, and I just love this character so much. I love her. I love how she's designed. I love her personality, and I wanted to talk about some of her designs. So, if you look at the bottom left, um, they have a set of four here, and there's this little bit that has red on it, this red and blue suit, right before her final design. And I'm obsessed with this. I love the way that the red looks. I love the emblem on the chest. I actually don't find it to be too noisy. Um, and I like the way that her boots look. Or I shouldn't even say boots. She's really wearing like heels or something. I'm sure somebody knows the name of this shoe better than me. Anyway, I like this because the red really does scream powerful. And I like the entire face covering, which is why I don't talk about liking the headband so much in the second design on the left because I just don't get it. To me, the mask is a little mysterious, pretty cool, and it adds a lot to her character. And obviously, I love the cape. Um, it would have been cool to me to see her with a even longer cape, probably down to maybe her calves. But I think the reason they didn't go with this red, especially the nose portion, is just because it comes off as very strong, and the nose beak on superhero masks in general, it has a lot of character, but it really does change the way the whole character is presented. I'm glad they kept her a little bit mysterious. Um, oh man, do I wish they kept the red though. The red just looks great, especially with the yellow and the blue. And if you look at this next page, I'm not gonna take you guys through the whole book, but I think it was really important that they didn't keep the red. As much as I love it and I love like the nose portion, I think that it's important that they kept the blue because of these images here. Without that, the beak on the nose, I call it a beak, but it's really not. Without the nose covering, she comes off as a softer, more sincere character. You can even just see the difference in this sketch here, and then if we flip back, like she looks a little more imposing with the whole red mask going on, and red as a color anyway I find to be more imposing. Um, but I think the blue and the white with the yellow cape and the smaller gem really pulls her character design together in a way that I personally love. I think that they could have gone either way with it, whether it be blue or red, and I think she would have looked great either way, but I think the red suit would have definitely given us a completely different character, at least in the way that she presents herself. Now, the other two are boring and safe. So I'm super glad they didn't go with that. The headband has always been safe to me. I like the female superheroes in masks, women in masks. It just makes sense to cover her face a bit, especially from what I've seen in the story so far. I've just finished episode 3, and it's just the mask feels more appropriate. And the first one feels so safe that I almost consider it a completely different character. Like she would have had to have been portrayed completely different in the game if she had that first design going for her. And so I really do think that the iterations that they went through with Blonde Blazer really worked in their credit. And then one other thing that I wanted to call attention to is just how well her whole head get up is with her hair. I appreciate that they still let her hair be down, especially while she's flying. It adds a lot of depth to the character design, and I love seeing her in the office. I I think they did a fantastic job, and I look forward to seeing more of her in the game. But I wanted to just sit here and gush about the cowls and the masks that they've chosen, and the design, like for her gloves, even like the yellow ones are a bit more pointed. They kind of flare off the forearm, and they look sharper in yellow, if that makes sense. Where in these images they don't have as much flare. They kind of stay on her forearms a little bit, which like it works for her design. Again, if they wanted her to be more imposing, I think the yellow would have just been perfect for that. But I don't like she would have been a completely different character. Or at least she would have been a completely different character with the mask on. I don't know what she's like without the mask, but I think her superhero identity would have been completely different. And so this artwork is awesome. This digital deluxe edition is awesome. These sketches on this page are by Lance Lee, who just does amazing art. Um, and then they have the on the right the stills from the early animation test by Igloo Studio. And again, there's so much character. Um, there's just so much character with her, and I just look forward to seeing where she goes. And I think the iterations that they did for her suit were were spectacular, and I'm glad that they ended up going with the blue one because she still has a lot of character and she doesn't look like it safe. I love the mask. I love the blue, and that's really where I'm gonna leave this today. But if you enjoy me rambling about design for these games that I play, please consider hitting the subscribe button and dropping a like. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.